So one of my bugbears that frustrates me, and it shouldn't, is I often get asked the question and have the discussion with people around, hey, I know somebody who's got one or two houses, I'm just going to learn from them on how to become a professional investor. And I'm with somebody who works with experts and professionals, not amateurs. And that's allowed them to catapult themselves to Olympic medals, speaking on front of stage, in front of many people, and a brand performing property, teaching other people how to invest in property safely and effectively in a professional way. So having all that success, Roger, what's the difference between taking advice of an amateur, maybe your friend down a pub, or a professional expert?
When I think about when I was an athlete, there are lots of people who tell you how to run fast. And a lot of people probably got a lot of interesting things to say, but what I found out in my career was I only really listened to people who I chose to listen to. And actually, a big moment for me was towards the end of my career when I had to make some real changes to what I did and how I did it, and a way of thinking. And I made that because I listened to somebody who in the past had run the Olympic 400 metre final and had failed.
Okay.
And I thought, I listened to that person because they'd been where I was trying to go. They messed up. I also surrounded myself with great athletes like Chris Akabusi, Daley Thompson, Edwin Moses, these really great athletes. Because they were doing it with me. They were, success breeds success. If you want to be successful at something, go and find successful people. A lot of parents will contact me. A lot of people will say, "I've got a young kid, my son or daughter is really fast. They really want to be a great athlete. What's the number one thing they should do to run faster?" I say, "That's simple. Tell them to go and run with fast people." Now that seems really simple.
Yes.
But actually, what most people do is, I've got to find the right spikes, the right shoes, I've got to have the right kit, I've got to, better diet, I've got to have, all that stuff. Great, that's all important. But the number one thing is, if you want to run fast, go and run with fast people. Because if you chase them, you're going to run faster. That's what I ended up doing. And I think it's the same when it comes to property investing. Because there are lots of people who can tell you about their property stories. Might have one or two properties.
Yes.
I bought that, it's gone up loads of value. Well, okay, maybe, yeah. But if you really want to be a serious property investor, go and surround yourself with people who have started with nothing and have over the years created a very stable, successful property portfolio. That's what I would suggest, and that's what I'm doing, and that's what we encourage people to do.
Okay, so you raise an interesting point, because my next question would have been, is it people who've done it 20, 30 years ago, or is it people who are doing it now?
I think it's a bit of both, but it's probably people now, because the world is not the same as it was a few years ago. Certainly when it comes to property, there are still opportunities out there, but laws change, mortgages change, lending changes. There are lots of changes all the time. If you're not up to date with what's going on and you apply old knowledge to new situations, you could really have a problem. So you have to have a growth mindset and keep learning and address now, but also learn from the past. It's the blend of the two. But certainly when I was an athlete, surround yourself with good people. Choose who you listen to, because if you listen to everybody, you don't make your own mind up.
I think that's a challenge. On the internet, there's so much amateur advice out there.
Of course.
So performing property is somewhere where you can go, get expert advice to then get the right education and put you on the right track.
Yeah, I mean, there is a formula. There's a very simple formula to property investing, which I think stands the test of time. But what your strategy is around that formula is down to you, and you'll have different people suggesting different things and different places to invest and where you should be doing this and what you should be doing this and the other. That could become quite daunting. So I think stick to the formula, but also listen to choose who you listen to, and then focus on your strategy. But I think that's it. I think that's really important. It was really important to me to do that. It was really important to not just sort of talk about it, but to actually do it. Because there's a lovely saying in sport which says, anyone can talk a good race. But trust me, when you stand behind the line in the Olympic final with 100,000 people in the stadium and you're waiting for the gun to go, it's pretty lonely. And if you're not ready, you'll get found out. And I've experienced that on a positive side, and I've experienced it on a negative side. So I think it's the same in property investing. I mean, you could talk it up, but actually it's about knowledge, preparation, and then focusing on what you make that decision, make that strategy, and then just get on and do it and stick to it and let it, or unless things go dramatically wrong, but really be prepared. In sport, people say, what was it that made you feel really good when you stood behind the line? Okay, I was probably healthy, I wasn't injured or whatever, but actually I was prepared. If I felt prepared for a championship, I was ready. I knew I couldn't run badly. I wasn't guaranteed to win, but I knew I couldn't run badly. And when I stood behind the line unprepared, I didn't know what was going to happen. And I think it's the same in property investing. The better prepared you are from a knowledge perspective to make the right decision or make a decision, then the more likely you are to be successful. I think if you just think, I can just make any decision and it's property, it's going to be okay, I wouldn't buy that. I would be very wary of anyone who's saying that.
Okay. So, to summarise, it's take advice from the experts and then just stick to one path and follow it.
Yeah, and experts tend to be people who are doing what you want to do and have made it happen. They've learned something along the way. Don't reinvent it. Learn from them. And one of the things I like about the team at Performing Property is everybody that stands in front of somebody who's interested in property investing under our brand of Performing Property has sat in that chair and started and has become an expert because they've done the journey that you want to go on. Well, they're the people you want to listen to.
Yeah.
Rather than read a book or listen to somebody who's been investing for so many years and made so much money.
And your friend down the park.
Yeah. I mean, I'd find someone who you feel is like you, and I would suggest that most people in the room in a Perform Property event who are either delivering or supporting have been there, and so ask them the questions because they'll give you the answers because they want to share their knowledge,
and that's why they're there.
That's why they're there.
Amazing.
Absolutely.